Welcome back everyone to Catherine's Plates. I've got some simple ingredients today to make you a no-bake root beer float pie. It's cool, it's refreshing, it's going to beat that summer heat that is out there. Now, this idea came from one of my subscribers. She mailed me a card and asked me if I could do a dessert using root beer Kool-Aid. Now, I've looked high and low down here. We're in Southeast Texas, and I could not find root beer Kool-Aid. So I'm going to go to the next best route, and I'm going to put root beer into a pie and give it a float feeling, float flavor, and it's going to be delicious. So my subscriber was Millie P, and it was like really so nice of her to send me a card. She really appreciates my channel and loves the recipes, so I'm excited to make this one for her and for all of you guys out there. If you're ready for this one, oh, I know I am. I'm going to bring you over here. I'm just going to show you the ingredients really quick so you can get those, and then we're going to put this one together. We're going to start with the pie crust. You're going to want it to be a 9-inch prepared pie crust. I'm just using a shortbread flavor here. Now you can use whatever flavor you want. If you want a graham cracker, if you want to use a regular pie crust, just make sure that it's already pre-baked. We've got a 3.4 ounce box of vanilla instant pudding. We're going to be using some root beer, any flavor root beer you like. I've got some maraschino cherries. That's going to be kind of a garnish at the end. We've got some heavy whipping cream. Now I've got this out because you can either use Cool Whip, which you can find in your freezer section of your store, and just thaw it out in about 8 ounces, or you can make your own, which I'm going to make and show you how that's done really quickly. And then you're just going to need some milk here to help make the pudding. Let's go ahead and make our whipped topping first. I'm just going to use a small bowl here. We're going to add in 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream. We're going to add that to our small bowl. Let's add 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. The powdered sugar, what it's going to do is stabilize our whipped topping when we make it. So when we make our dessert and we put it in the refrigerator, it's going to set up really nice and it's going to be very stable, lasting you a few days. Now if you don't put the powdered sugar in there and you just whip this up, then it'll last about the day, but then your heavy whipping cream that you have whipped up will turn into milk and just be a really loose pie. So make sure you add that powdered sugar so that we can stabilize it. I'm going to take my electric hand mixer. Now I've just attached a whisk attachment to it. I'm going to beat this until we get nice soft peaks. Perfect. Look at that. That is what we're looking for right there. You want to be able to scoop it up with your spoon, tip it over, and do that. It looks just like Cool Whip that you pick up from the freezer section of your store once it's thawed. What I'm going to do is just cover this and pop this in the refrigerator for just a few minutes while I get my root beer mixture put together. I've got a medium bowl. I'm going to add our 3.4 ounce size of instant vanilla pudding. We're going to add half a cup of milk. Make sure that you are not following the directions on the back of our pudding box, okay? Because it's going to be too much. Make sure you're only putting in half a cup of milk. Any flavored root beer that you want. Make sure it's nice and cold, so just pull it out of the refrigerator. You're going to want 3/4 of a cup. Go ahead and add that to your bowl. And what's good is the rest of it is for you. Tasty on a nice hot day out there. I'm going to take my electric hand mixer, and all I did was take the whisk attachment off from the Cool Whip, and then I just put on my regular beaters here. We're going to blend this together for 2 minutes until it's all nice and well incorporated. Okay, now it should have a pudding consistency, pretty thick, just like that there. That looks good. Let's give this a try. Oh my gosh. It tastes like a root beer float. That vanilla pudding makes it taste like ice cream, and then you have the root beer over the ice cream and you mix that together. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our Cool Whip, your thawed Cool Whip or your homemade whip topping that's sitting in the refrigerator. You want to leave them both in the refrigerator until you get to this point here, okay? Keep it nice and cold, that way it doesn't break everything down. What we're going to do is take half of our Cool whip topping mixture here, that's about 4 ounces, and we're going to put it into our root beer float mixture. Then what we're going to do is fold it in. So just pull from the bottom, drag it through half of the Cool Whip topping, and then just keep pulling it in. You don't want to take a fork or anything like that and beat it up, okay? We want to keep all that air that we whipped into everything there to give it height. Get down into the bottom there, make sure it's all blended well, just like that. Nice and smooth. Yeah, it's holding its shape. All right, let's go ahead now and get our pie crust. Okay, so I've got my ready crust here. This was the shortbread flavor. Now I've heard that there's pecans out there that you can use, like a pecan crust. There's graham cracker crust, a chocolate crust. You can make your own crust. You just want to make sure it's prepared, cooked, cooled completely, ready to go. This recipe will hold enough for a 9-inch crust. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my mixture in. Let's smooth that out, make it nice and even. I'm sure you have somebody that'll lick the bowls and the spatulas and the knives, beaters. Yeah, I got a few people. Okay, I'm going to take my 4 ounces of my whipped topping or your Cool Whip that's left over. I'm just going to place it, kind of dollop it really, so it's easy to spread. You take your spatula, knife, and then just kind of spread it to the edges of your pie here. Offset spatulas are just the best thing to use when you're wanting to smooth out frosting, icing, Cool Whips. A regular spatula will just pull that right up. You don't have to go all the way to the edges because there is something we're going to do when we finish this off. Okay, I'm going to cover this with the lid that it comes with. You just want to pull off the piece of paper and any of the glue that's tacking this onto the cover here. And then what we're going to do is just give it a rinse under the sink, wipe it off really good. Okay, let's place it on. We're just going to close the foil edges over the plastic here just a few times. I'm going to place this in the freezer for 2 hours. That will help set it up, and then I'm going to finish this off for you guys, show you what it's going to look like, and then I'm going to cut it and give it a taste. I've just pulled this out of the freezer. My husband's over there doing the dance. All right, so it was in there for 2 hours. I'm going to finish this off. I've got some Cool Whip topping, extra creamy. And what I'm going to do is just top it right on the edge here by the crust. And then put one right in the center. Got some cherries. I just pulled these out and dried them, and I just pulled them out of a maraschino jar here. So put one every other spot. I'm leaving the stems on them because they're just so cute that way. And we'll put one right in the center. There we go. Root beer float pie, no bake, freezer dessert. Let me cut a piece for you. Okay, what do you think of my root beer float pie? Here's my bite. Definitely a root beer float. Flavor, so delicious. What kind of root beer are you putting into your pie? All right, if you need more ideas for no-bake, refrigerated, or even frozen pies, check down below my description box. I will link a playlist down there for you so you can pick your favorite and try it. This has become my favorite. It is so delicious. I do love root beer floats. All right, this is a freezer pie, so just make sure that whatever doesn't get eaten gets put back in the freezer. Okay guys, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for many more recipe ideas that come out. I will see you on my next episode.